Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I wanted to introduce you to the mind. According to ancient Indians, its functions and causes. The body holds the mind. It is a vessel that not only contains and sustains it, but also transforms and molds it. Every aspect of the mind is related to some part of the body. Therefore, health is of utmost importance, not just for longevity, but to allow the mind to flourish. Only a healthy and natural mind can produce thoughts and ideas that align with nature's rhythm and purpose. Nature is self sustaining. It is only man who strives to destroy it because he has somehow lost touch with the wisdom once inherent in a natural human being. Person connected to the soul. Discussing the body is relatively easy. Its laws are more tangible. Eat protein to build muscle mass, exercise regularly to reduce cholesterol, eat seasonal foods and avoid other in certain months. But the mind defies such logic. It is illusory and intangible, almost like a hypnotic trance. To understand the mind, one must first awaken from this trance. When you see the elements by which you are hypnotized, you gain the potential to change. But effort must come from within you. There are, however, certain observable laws of the mind. Let us explore them. The flow of mental functioning goes like this: from desire to emotion to thought and action to consequences, results, reactions, more desires, more emotions, more thoughts. This cycle continues endlessly. Some call this the law of karma, others call it cause and effect. Regardless of the terminology, you can observe this pattern within yourself. Aristotle once said that virtue leads to peace of mind. But But why should virtue, of all things, bring peace of mind to a random cluster of molecules called a human being? Is every human being born with a conscience, or at least a degree of it? This leads us to the psychology of children. We were all children. Children are unique beings. Each child has a mind with varying gifts and talents. As we grow into society, these raw gifts become shaped and often suppressed. Until the teenage years, we are open vessels, discovering our inner blessings. There is much to learn from children and more from realizing that we were once like them. What changed? Certain qualities diminished while others strengthened. Your memory grew, your muscles developed, and your reasoning matured. Emotions once centered around parents now encompass friends and colleagues and others. You have discovered parts of yourself and even learned how to learn. At every stage of growth, new emotions emerge: the desire to control, the urge to be important, patriotism, or even brotherhood. Qualities like honesty, loyalty, integrity, and helpfulness arise naturally. Ethics and morality begin to make sense. As a child, you were simply being, yet even then some inclinations appeared. Perhaps you were drawn to music or writing. These were your innate gifts, your jewels in seed form. Nurturing them is your duty. You may say these seeds are inherited from the universal mind. According to the law of karma, we are enjoying the fruits of past actions. These seeds become our individuality as we grow into adults. Everyone has the choice to understand their talents, strengths, and weaknesses, and to move with intelligence. Hermetic principles and ancient perspectives, like the Kybalion, is often quoted by modern artists and philosophers. Its Hermetic principles describe mental laws observed by the ancients. The ancient human was deeply connected to being. He had not lost his sense of wonder, observation, or ritual. Instead of microscopes or machines, ancient men experimented with worship, with reverence for nature. Nature was their god. There were no axioms, no laws, no mathematical rules, no rigid dogmas. They regarded themselves as souls and used their conscience and consciousness to as the primary source of knowledge. Experience was the laboratory. They saw the divine in trees, stars, and rivers. Worship wasn't based on fear, but connection. Hermes devised several mental principles, the foremost being all is mind. The sun gave them energy, the moon gave them peace, the waters cooled them, and the wind dried their sweat. These people were naturalists. They believed in the five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and found balance within them. There wasn't a periodic table. Over time, however, rituals turned to dogma, and sacrifices replaced reverence. Philosophers emerged to question it all, and so we continue. Let us look at Ayurveda and the balance of elements. Ayurveda still views the world through a primal yet powerful lens. Man is born of the elements. When the mind and body are balanced, wellness flows. When imbalances occur, so do illness and dysfunction. Virtue is an aspect of health. Choosing happiness over indulgence in alcohol or fleeting pleasures like sex is a step toward balance. Such activities, though instantly gratifying, often lead to depression or hysteria or delusion. Pleasure then can be harmful to health. The Ayurvedic view is that pleasure disrupts elemental balance. Of course, this is not against pleasure, but it is suggestive that true happiness is found within awareness, not in objects. Once this is realized, we can seek to realign our elements through practice, self-discipline, and external aids. You wake up irritated, ask why. Don't just blame others, look within. Irritation could stem from indigestion, overstimulation, or unaddressed emotions. Awareness reveals that the mind projects outward what begins within. Consciousness and the functions of the mind. Let's look at this. To understand the mind, one must first understand consciousness. Consciousness is like light. It does not relay information instantly. It reveals things slowly. Sometimes it may take years just to become aware of a certain nerve signal. Why? It's a certain nerve signal that has been ringing in your mind over and over again, like a thought that has been so repetitive that now you've become unconscious of it. Why do we why do we want to enhance consciousness? Simply put, to live fully, to evolve. Great inventors and artists all had one trait in common: the ability to understand their own minds. Their consciousness was refined. This clarity allowed them to operate at higher levels of creativity and intelligence. Enhancing consciousness involves focusing the mind until perception becomes clear. This clear perception allows us to see things as they are, not through the mind's filter. The light of consciousness is a subtle, subjective experience. Sometimes it brightens, sometimes it vanishes. But when it returns, it feels like a gift, like going back home, not something conjured by will alone. In that state, the world feels alive. Events seem to unfold synchronously. This is the flow state sought by artists and thinkers alike. Flow is a high vibrational experience. It can induce it can be induced through deep concentration and surrender. Once we attain flow, we can begin to study the mind more deeply. Thoughts and responses can be classified. Just like in programming language, we create functions. Actions like riding a bicycle or driving a car become automatic. What is the ultimate goal here? To transcend default functions, enter deeper awareness. Let us look at rituals and mastery of rituals. A ritual and mastery is 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 practice, and when practiced mindfully can induce flow. Yogis and religious practitioners use repetition to deepen awareness. Though often misunderstood, these practices can cultivate strong concentration. The problem arises when the practice is mistaken for the cause of awareness. Consciousness comes from within, not from the external act. Your mind's functions drive your personality. As many psychologists note, these automatic responses can be manipulated, even in sales and marketing. Awareness of these responses is essential to grow and evolve. We must uncover these unconscious functions and bring them into the light of awareness. In doing so, we enhance consciousness and become the best version of ourselves. So, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe and like the video if you really liked it, and be sure to check out my book, available now on Amazon. Thank you.